all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Summertime is here, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? Your dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-offs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome. We are here at Pinnacle Bank Arena for the kickoff for the Cornhusker State Games. We thank you for joining us on the block. We are live and in color. Jay Foreman to my right and my guy Shaky Jakey Sorensen to the left. Leader in charge of the morning's best show in town. How are you, Shaky Jakey?
This is late for me, boys. Usually I'm out done working for today. I get up at 4:30 in the morning and call it good by 3. But we got to help out. Austin's out of town. Nick's been busy helping out yesterday. He's got things to do today. So I figured I'd help out today while we got Austin on vacation for this wonderful event of opening night for the Cornhusker State Games.
Yeah, man.
You have carried the torch for before.
I have. I've carried the torch, and it's truly an honor to be here in support of those athletes that are continuing their love for the sport that they have interest in, or tapping into another sport that maybe they have a love for. And Jay Foreman, have you ever participated or been a part of a state games? We couldn't play back then in the day, but
I haven't. But I've coached kids that played, in the golf, and then they put the team together, played basketball 3-on-3. So I mean, they were excited about it. It's a big deal, and I think it's grown every year. We've been fortunate to partner with the Nebraska State Games and be here for the kickoff of the last, at least from my experience, this is our third year, and every year it's bigger and bigger, and it continues to grow. So it's going to be great to hear the inside stories and how it's grown so fast.
There's no doubt about it. Especially being here at Pinnacle Bank Arena, we've been here for some of the openings as well. To start it off, I mean, it looks like on the inside, it's a big production.
Oh yeah.
You've got to love what we're gonna have some of the guests come by and shout with us and chat with us throughout the evening as we're here getting it all kicked off and started. But we're starting it off right here live and in color on the block. That is also sponsored by the Mercado. By Certified Piedmontese. Check out their locations online at themercadobutcher.com or at any of the 4 locations. One of the favorites is 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln. You can also go right next to Stricky, hang out with me at 168th and Maple in Omaha. So get the Mercado, which has the best meat and
every type of meat, every type of cut.
That's right. So we're going to talk more about the Cornhusker State Games, but let's just get started with the day until we get some of the guests that come in. But there's some things that's happening out in Vegas right now. Usually when you talk about Vegas, some things that are happening out there, you're going to get UFC. You've got one of the better hockey teams out there right now. They'll have some, Olympic things that happen out there with the basketball, and the Aces are out there, and they've been world champs as far as the WNBA is concerned. But going on right now also is they also have Summer League. NBA Summer League is jumping off, and an American-born favorite, Dookie favorite, and we don't have the guy who represents them very well in Austin Orman here today. No. But Cooper Flagg is going to be sounding off loudly there for the Dallas Mavericks, who attained the first pick in the NBA draft, landing Cooper Flagg after letting go of Luka Doncic and sending him to LA. And but he's going to be going against one of your favorites in LeBron James. Little Bronny Jr. is going to be starting off there, and the tickets are off the chain, off the Mercado, the meat rack, so to speak. But it's one of the best tickets in town. I mean, you're talking about 2,000 plus. Now that's even higher than what Wemby was able to put together. What's your initial thoughts when you're thinking about this, and similar to the feeling that you're going to get when you approach going to your first camp? This is really their first time to show and shine in the bright lights right there in the summer leagues. What's your initial thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, it's going to be a big ticket just because of, Cooper Flagg, his success. And, you got to think his ascension has pretty much been maybe faster than Zion's. And you got to think he, reclassed be in the NBA or in college a year earlier. Then you have Bronny, obviously the son of LeBron James. And so, he's shown improvement, and he's been, the best player in the summer league so far. And so I think you get the family history against the new history, and Cooper Flagg is fighting the thing that, everybody's expecting him to be the next Larry Bird. I think he's played on huge stages before. He's played against the Olympic team and done well against all those pros. He'll go out there and show and prove, and then he's just got to figure out how to make the best rookie year with the veteran-led Dallas Mavericks team.
Well, I've got a chance, Jakey.
Shaky, it's fine. You can call me Shaky. I'm all right with that.
I've
We're
got
on a nickname basis here. It's Tricky. I'm okay with that.
I've got a chance to watch him play. I think I've been, obviously once things settled for him, he was able to go to the G League and really put in that time, put in that work. He had a really good run in the G League last year. And what I found is, after playing well my first time in the summer league, coming back, there's a level of confidence that you have. I've got a chance to watch him a little bit. I see the leadership and talking to the younger players and what that looks like. But he's gonna be going in this big moment. But for Cooper Flagg, after what Wembanyama did last year, it was a really tough start for him. How do you expect this to look when you're thinking about this summer league matchup in this big of a scale this early? Usually, you like to kind of get in, get your feet wet, get it started, and then all of a sudden now you jump into a big, but right off the top, you're looking in this big matchup.
I will not lie. I have a tough time getting excited for
summer league,
off-season basketball. It's not the regular season. It's like I cannot get into NFL preseason football. I want to think it matters, and all these guys end up getting cut that are improving and trying to have improve spots in the team. But for Cooper Flagg versus Bron, it's a fun story. I like seeing the ticket prices. It's to me, it's incredible for a summer league game to see the prices for a game that doesn't even count or really matter, except for summer standings. But I also don't know what to expect from Cooper Flagg as an NBA player. I think he's obviously going to be someone that has high expectations, as he should as the number 1 overall pick. But he's not someone that averaged like 30 points a game at Duke. He was on a very, very good team that had a bunch of first-round picks beyond him. He was the best of the bunch. But you mentioned him having a Larry Bird type of future or maybe expectations. I don't know what to expect from Cooper Flagg. I think he'll be very, very good in the NBA. But I would ask you this. If you were trying to build your team around Cooper Flagg or Luka, who went to the Lakers, who was with the Mavericks, who would you choose as the person to build around if you had both at the same age?
So here's my real thought about that, right? AD is, when healthy, and he's not sitting on the bench or something based on some form of an injury, he's a tremendous player. He's one of the best, especially at his position. If he's playing at the right position, I think for him, the 4 position is the right position, not having to play the 5. So I look at how it's going to be an ease of transition, because Cooper, although he's got a lot of expectation, there's a lot of weight that's going to be on him, especially to fill the shoes of what Luka has been able to do in such a short period of time. I think it's good balance, because you also have a lot of ones. So you've got a 1A, a 1B, and then, you can even look at Cooper once Kyrie gets healthy. You could look at him as a 2A, a 1C initially, and it'll allow him to develop into himself without necessarily having to take the brunt of the pressure. And I think if they can get themselves all healthy, I think that'll be fine. Looking at that from that perspective, getting a team that's going to be able to work collectively is what it looks like they're trying to build. And I think it was harder to build around Luka, because Luka is very ball dominant. Luka is he's one of those guys that's going to run the clock down to 5 seconds and expect you to shoot with 3. Where I think this team is going to require a lot of ball movement, Jake. There's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of the system is going to be, I think, advantageous for a team to build off of, and to get your younger players and those bench players to also be able to step up without having to put that total pressure on them.
Yeah, I think if I'm building a team, I'm going to definitely probably go with Cooper Flagg. I think, Luka hit his apex really early. He's the same player that he's been probably at his second or third year. I think the difference is that what you lose in scoring and like the Sports Center, shot making ability, the overall basketball game, the ability to get out and transition, the ability to get out there and create your own shots by, locking up and be able to switch all four positions and actually try to be an effective defensive player. You can build around that. Now, I think Cooper Flagg will never probably reach the expectations that people have on him. I think he's going to face, I think the summer league is going to be interesting for him. He's going to face guys he's probably never heard of before that are just as big and athletic as him. Now, he's a young kid, so you got to give him some time and some grace. But, ultimately, I think his skill set, he's going to be a very good NBA or a very good player in the NBA. Won't be the heights of, obviously, LeBron and them, but I think he'll be somebody that you can count on for, year 1 through 15, 16 years in the NBA because he gives you such, position flexibility. Not thinking about his second or third year, you'll see that 3-point shot get up to snuff. Then it'll really cause some problems.
So as you said, Jay, this isn't anything to get overly excited about. Obviously, this ticket is a big one. You get a chance to kind of see what young players are about, what they're going to bring. Yes, sometimes it's not necessarily a lot of carryover. Obviously, Wembanyama was a huge addition, as well as Zion. They came in and they were able to have a pretty big impact early on in their careers. But let's just look at some of the people that are going to be playing in the summer league, and tell me a couple of them that maybe you think could have an impact as far as their additions and what they can learn and what you could see from them in these early stages and how they can fit into wherever they're going to. For example, the Charlotte Hornets made a big play, and it was kind of a wild play when you think about it. The move that was made by Danny Ainge to basically ward everybody off, getting Ace Bailey. And the Charlotte Hornets make a jump to go ahead and go a little bit early to get like a Knipple. So when I look at the Charlotte Hornets, for example, I look at them as they're still trying to find themselves. They still don't really have a full identity. LaMelo, yes, flashy, fun, but what do you think he could add to a team that's already kind of loosey-goosey like Charlotte? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or it's kind of wild to me that they went to that number. Is he a stability piece, or is he a piece that really can move the needle and take them to another level? That's just an idea. I would love to, we're going to dig into a couple more.
Well, there's a guy in here. I look at a certain team that I think was, struggled last year, but they finished okay. They were on the rise, and there's been a change in leadership, obviously. And I think that the Spurs, to me, are very fascinating. Here, you talk about Stephon Castle last year was very good, and then you add Dylan Harper as the number 2 overall pick. You add, of course, De'Aaron Fox from the Kings as a big get for them, and then you get Bryant. It was the other guy that they had, Carter Bryant, another lottery pick. So, and of course Wembanyama. I can't forget Victor Wembanyama. So that team is one that's kind of been forgotten for a couple of years, and rightfully so. They just have not been very good, but I'm excited to see what Harper will do in Summer League, and then when we get to the season, how he will mesh with the guys like De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and Wembanyama. And I think the Spurs are a team that, again, they won't by any means win the West, but they're going to be a team that makes some noise that has not made noise in several years. So I'm looking at them. I loved Harper at Rutgers. Loved him and Ace Bailey now with Utah. Like, both those guys are of interest to me, and it's still funny to me that they had 2 lottery picks at Rutgers and did nothing this year.
Yeah.
They were better. Steve Peichel is better. He's got the less talented guys that work hard. I'm not saying those guys didn't work hard, but they weren't scrappy like former old Rutgers teams.
It's kind of wild that Nebraska kind of
not
looks
supposed
like
to be a front runner with lottery picks, and you see why. They're not used to it. They don't know how to win.
It's kind of wild that Nebraska kind of looked like that with
Bryce
McGowan's
yeah.
and Verge at one
and
point in
Delano
time.
Benson as well.
All
drafted players there.
Yeah. Jay, like let me just throw one at you, and I'm gonna throw one at you that I think came off like gangbusters early on in this is VJ Edgecombe for the 76ers.
Yeah.
Came out like gangbusters, making them really in the summer league right now look like they made the right decision for that addition for what they have there in in Philly and what they're trying to build.
Yeah, you might see a little bit of a shift now. I mean, the game is definitely guard and wing oriented, more wing now, and obviously with Shea, you got to say guard as well. So now when you look at Philly, right, where you got Maxey, you got McCain, and you got this young fella, now I think they're way more athletic. You can even put your boy Paul George in there if he's ever healthy, right? So you got 4 wings, 1 through 4, where you like the size and the ability to switch and the ability to shoot and get to the rim. So now you're building yourself more like OKC when healthy, in the East, right? Because the East is up for grabs, and then whatever you get out of Embiid that's the cherry on top, and especially if you can get 50 games out of him, you feel like that's like a whole season. If you get production in the playoffs, then you're really thinking, okay, we are right here.
We're in a good spot.
We're in a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think Maxey was a great get for Philly. I think McCain was a really good get. I think he had a good year, and then I think Victor is going to do well this year,
and the young buck Grimes. But unfortunately,
I think he played himself out of there.
He played himself out of there.
But also, Strick, when you have a player like Grimes that you kind of take a flyer on, kind of let's say a medium range deal, and he outperformed. That's it. That's a kudos to Philly.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the injury, the situation, it became
in a boo-boo for Dallas.
Right, but it was like, all right, it was never something that was on the headlines. It was like, all right, a kind of a throw-in. But he came up there in that environment and performed. And the hardest thing to do from an NBA perspective, NFL perspective, and sometimes even from baseball, because we were talking about the 15-year vet from the Yankees getting called down or getting reassigned, is continue to be a professional in an unprofessional situation or organization. And so when you talk about the NBA and the summer leagues, really you're getting just a little snapshot into what's happening up top, what's happening, with the coaching level, and then with the veterans. And so you talk about the maturation of Bronny, and then you see some rookies coming in, and why you draft a guy like Knipple. Well, you know why that is because LaMelo Ball, Bridges. Now Bridges he had his
stint.
He's scared straight, but now Bridges is back. And some of the other guys, Terry Rozier was his kind of is still in there.
Terry.
So now you're trying to get professional. The year before, you get big man from Duke. I think it's Williams, right? So now you're trying to bring some respectability back into your, that, right?
Yeah.
And LaMelo Ball,
and a local talent. For the most part,
last 2 years, even though you tried to trade him. And now you see them trying to get more athletic, right? Because they tried to get Connect 4 from the Lakers, right? Because Lakers had a need with an inside guy, and Charlotte has 3 big guys. They got one of the Plumlees and guys that can actually play and defend. They got a lot of wings, so they feel like they can compete when their head's on straight. You're seeing the change in who I would think normally a guy like Knipple doesn't go as high, no matter what he did.
Yeah.
He's a great player. He's going to be good, athletic family. But it's also letting the player in the NBA's change or what they're
looking for
as rookies. Less risk, more return, ease, and also think is they're looking in the future. Okay, Knipple, he might not hit that 270 or 300. He'll be cost effective. So then you can accumulate to, you know what I mean? That's what I'm looking at him. He's not going to be Shea.
Yeah, no.
He's not going to be Chet. But I
don't even think he'd be JJ Redick.
Right. So,
I don't think
you think when he comes up, he's going to be he's going to be accountable, tough, the ability to be there,
be able to knock down shots when you need it.
Availability. You can play him late in the quarter and a half because he's going to make 90% of his free throws. Right there, that's the owner's going to sleep good at night for once.
Good call, Jake. Before we go to break, just real quick, like as Jay was talking to. Just the importance of taking advantage of it doesn't matter what we can take this outside of sports at this point. Just when a situation presents itself, there's multiple ways you can look at it with a negative mindset, feel bad about it, or you can take it and say, this is an opportunity for me to, thrive and, come alive. So, talk about that part of it for the change in any sport, baseball, football, basketball, just that important.
It's easy to pout, if you don't, let's say, for example, right now, there's rumors when Ace Bailey was drafted, he didn't want to be with the Jazz. There's rumors that he didn't like it. He didn't want to go there. Well, guess what? That's where you're at. You're playing basketball there. You're getting a big contract. You're a first-round pick. And so either you can be a whiner and not play, or you can, as he is right now, playing some good basketball. He had a rough first game. He was a really good game, too. I watched the highlights. He was impressive.
Yeah.
It's like, you've got a long career. As long as you play, as long as you're somewhat of a team player and you are not a complete pain in the butt, you're going to be in the league for a long time. Might not always be with the Jazz, and it might work out.
Yeah, because you're actually interviewing for
absolutely
all of
it's
them.
it's every game, every season.
Yeah.
Is an interview for a team out there that might want to sign you as a free agent or trade for you. Like if you show up, if you're playing hard half the time, that's a huge turnoff in any sport. I don't care if it's football, basketball, baseball. I mean, even golf. You can be lazy in golf. Jay would know that.
Yeah,
we get lazy in golf sometimes.
You could be a Patrick Reed or something like that. I mean, I think with the
John Daly
or JD. That's a great example.
I don't think he's lazy. He's got that energy. He get that.
He's 100% lazy.
He get those
perma lazy.
That Brown and Coke in him. He live on stage all night, man.
Athlete.
Yeah, he get an athlete in him. He get anything, right? I think really what you're saying, Strick, is look, I mean, look, I didn't necessarily want to get drafted by Buffalo or Green Bay. I end up being there. You get there. And you're not even really strict. People don't understand when you're a professional athlete, you don't go out much when you're at home because you got to practice, go back to your apartment or house. And for you guys that got a heavy travel schedule, when you're at home, you probably don't want to do anything because 2 days later, you're, like when you're in Indiana.
And we traveled more than they do.
Right. And
now
with the quicker turnaround.
Yeah.
And so you really didn't get to do anything. So for him being in Utah, I think it's if he really embraces Utah, now granted, now just the basketball. It would be a good experience.
It'll be a good because he'll be able to stay focused, honed in on the task. And I can speak for myself as we get ready to go to our first break. I can speak to that, Jay, because
Vancouver, right?
No. Actually, I had 3 options on where to go. One was Miami, one was Seattle. And Seattle was one that I said no. There's a purpose for that. And then Miami was like, and I ended up choosing Milwaukee because I wanted to stay focused. And the same thing for college,
distracting,
right? The same thing for college. I love Nebraska.
Right.
I chose it because I actually love it, but also I chose it because I knew that if I went to a UCLA or I went to I knew my limitations of what I would probably be into. So I said, let me come down here, focus, because the task wasn't to just be Nebraska. The task was to go on to the next level.
There's a lot of guys, Strick. I always say, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for you. That were bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic than me, and everything outside of the sport is what knocked them. It might be something, and it's no different in the NBA. There's a lot of guys you saw that was like, man, he's cold-blooded.
Facts.
But practice start, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Game start, don't have the energy. So I think, really, if Ace Bailey takes it, the bull by the horn, it could work out to be a really good situation because Danny Ainge is not a Utah type of thinker.
Yeah.
He's a mover and shaker. So if you want to get to a better place and you're playing good, you'll be able to get up out of there.
There it is. We're going to take our first break. Stay tuned because we're going to talk about sports off power sports, your baseball, your football, your basketball. We're going to talk about the other sports like Wimbledon and soccer and the cups and so forth, different sports and what makes them special and what type of people.
Jake?
Yeah, Jake's
I'm
on a little bit about.
He was a tennis player.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to bring this out. But we want you guys to stay tuned. 402-464-5685. We want you to join in the conversation. We're going to come right back on the block right here at Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Attorney CPA Joe Cordell.
Hopefully you and I agree that you should do everything you can to save your marriage. Divorce is hard, expensive, and its outcome is usually not all you hope for. However, when doing everything has failed, when divorce remains as your last option, consider Cordell & Cordell as your first choice to help you through the divorce process to a better place on the other side. We've been a partner men can count on for more than 30 years. Let us be that partner for you.
The attorneys at Cordell & Cordell work to help men maximize their role in their children's lives. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys, a partner men can count on. 402-858-3220. That's 402-858-3220. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com. Office in downtown Lincoln. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikeroll-offs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Welcome back to On the Block here at Pinnacle Bank Arena once again for the opening ceremonies kickoff right here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. You can find us just inside the doors over there by the torch.
The torch.
Kind of, yeah, if you walk over by the torch, if you're in the area, down here in the Haymarket, come on by, wave at us, walk in, say hello, all of that good stuff. That's where we're at over here by the wonderful Husker Authentic store in front of that. And there's going to be some goodies happening. They're building everything out on the inside, but we're right here getting it all jumped off right here in the building. But we're going to talk about something that I just had, on my mind. You can join us in the conversation, 402-464-5685. The off-brand sports, right? They're going on right now. I was, we kind of every now and then peek at the TV and I'd see Wimbledon going on. And I used to watch Wimbledon. I loved them playing on the grass. I used to get involved when they had players like Michael Chang and Andre Agassi and Chris Evert and the likes of John McEnroe and even the Williams sisters, watching those things. And then some of the off sports as well, like, yes, there are new emerging stars, but you had definitely, I know with my dad, we would sit down for hours and watch the PGA events. And we're looking forward to seeing Tiger Woods and the likes of them. Some turn on soccer and watch Ronaldo and all those guys, and so my question then becomes, when you're talking about these off-brand sports, like, are they expanding? Who's watching? Like when you're talking about the leagues, the Liga, the different leagues, whether it be the Italian league, the Spanish league in England, we don't really get to capture a lot of those moments. Some people do watch them, but we know when the cups come around, there's probably a little bit more tuning in. Who's watching F1 racing?
I never have.
I've actually been. It's quite enlightening. But they have a big fan base. One of the biggest sports is soccer, as well as F1, and yet we don't feel it the same way. Like, how do you guys feel about it? 402-464-5685. But the question is, Kentucky Derby, who's watching? Are they building their brands? Because we don't really capture them the same way that we capture football and basketball, who are even those numbers are starting to shrink a little bit, which is kind of crazy.
I one story real quick about F1. I think the most annoyed that Jay Foreman's ever been with me is regarding F1. I've never watched F1. I've never been around F1, but we went to the Super Bowl, Radio Row, last year in Vegas, 2024, I guess. And the media night was at the F1 racetrack in Vegas. And we got to see all the different cars in there. And, I had a good time. Jay had a good time. There was a lot of free libations and food there. And I kept telling Jay as I got more and more libations in to keep eating all the food possible, including this one random purple cookie that he would not eat. He would not eat the purple cookie. But that place was cool. That place would make me want to watch F1 racing. And I've heard a lot of cool things about F1 racing.
I actually went to one in Belgium.
You went to a race?
I went to the race in Belgium, and it's an event. It's not just the race. And you're talking about guys, gals, kids. They're coming in suited and booted in, who they're supporting.
Yeah.
Verstappen or Hamilton. They have all the gear on. And I mean, I'm talking about a party going on pre, post, and all through.
Yeah, it's all week long. And I think the thing, Strick, about those sports, if you take Kentucky Derby out, they're all, mainly like European sports. So essentially, the way that we're viewing their sports, they're viewing our American soccer or American soccer and football. But also those sports that you're talking about, Strick, it's like the ones that are, I don't want to use this word, but I'll use it just to get my point across, very cult-like, right? there's very stringent rules on how you do things, right? You know, like at Wimbledon, you know, the players, everybody's got to wear white. You got to be suited and booted when you go watch, right? So it's kind of like a wine and cheese and tea, right?
Yeah,
So,
tea and crumpets.
Tea and crumpets. So you better be on your best behavior, right? And then when you go to F1, it is a pageantry, right? It's their version of the Kentucky Derby. You wear the big hats and everything. You want to be seen. And then when you think about European soccer, now we've been able to really build the MLS on superstars coming over here, and this is like their golden parachute package. But over there, that's the one sporting events I will want to go to is a European soccer league, whether it's Man United, and we'll see the experience that because that's true intensity. And you ask who's watching it. It's not in here. It's not about watching it. They view things attending. Everything that they view across
live
the water
and in color
is they want to attend, talk about it at the dinner table, pass the stories down to generations and generations. That's why you see them suited and booted. So when you think about how they're trying to expand their brands, look what you're seeing more on Netflix and Amazon Prime. You're seeing F1 series. You're seeing European soccer, kind of like the Hard Knocks version of it. You're seeing that. You've seen golf now, right? Where you've seen it, the second swing, which was a hit at, the first season, the second season as well, going to be a third. So they're trying to catch up like the different way. They know that the viewership, just watching, sitting down and watching is probably not there because of why strict, like we talked about off air. Each of the sports that need them, the individual sports, need that Tiger Woods, need that Roger Federer. They don't have it yet. As great as like Scotty Scheffler is, he's just like a ho-hum. But he's just so good.
He's kind of boring.
He's kind of boring. They don't have that.
They don't have the charisma type.
Right.
Some of them, the new
one, not yet.
Not yet.
And maybe it's because they're all friendly, but over there in Europe, me and you could grow up together, and you play in Manchester United, and I play in Man City.
We don't like each other, my boy.
But we're not talking
right
until maybe you go to another team. And we grew up in the so it's different. So I think
it's real rivalries.
It's for real. It's but what the funny thing, Strick, if you ever get a chance to, I watched a lot of the European soccer thing to study the coaches, how they motivate players, and really it's more mental, right? And how they're able to piece together teams that they don't have any control over. But what they do is and they do like go home with the fans. It's like when you're born, like how they talking about it. What is it in Ohio? Is it Mansfield or whatever? When a kid is born, they put a football in the little high school. It's like that over there.
Yeah.
And it's so different than NASCAR. When both of us have had time in North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Where people will walk around, whether it's Jeff Gordon or something, and that's what they'll drive. So whatever their favorite F1 car dude that's what they're going to rock. Now obviously everybody can't drive Ferraris and stuff, and stuff, but they'll that's what it is personal.
Facts. So well, one thing I want to do real quick, shout out to all of the Nebraska natives that are going to be playing in the summer league. I saw Hunter Salas go up, and this is a testament to you, Brad, on the Sauter Heyman text line. I saw Hunter Salas go up and posterize somebody. I think it was yesterday. Shout out to them, and hopefully they'll play well. All of them from Nebraska that will be playing in the summer league. So shout out to them. But Jakey, I had the privilege. We've heard Jokic talk about what it was like to play in his home country, and he's like, playing here's nothing. And then I've actually seen videos of him playing in a game. I've seen his home, and the crowd was absolutely like, I said to myself, like, whoa, what it would be like to play in that type of atmosphere of how wild and crazy they are in support of their home country. So it's a different type of flavor than playing for a city than when you're playing for your actual country.
That's why, when the Olympics come around, the Olympics are not everyone loves them because it's, you get used to the Nuggets or the Heat or the NBA teams. But when you are playing for your home country and it's happens to be there for the games, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And so it's fun when you see, if the games are in a sport that has a good basketball team and they make a run, even if it's not the USA, it's fun to see that. It's fun to see the support. And because these people know that even though these players have gone on to different leagues, whether it's international or NBA or beyond, they all come back together. That's family.
Yeah.
That's country. That's support.
Yeah.
That's
Shout
honor.
out to Cupsker on the Sutter-Hammond text line. Cupsker says, honestly, Stricky, if I could wake up at 5, 6 a.m. to watch early break now. He says, if I could wake up at 5 to 6 a.m. to watch soccer, I probably would. Personally, I picked Manchester United, and if I watched a soccer match, it'll be with them or the U.S. national team. Thanks for that, Cupsker. Eric also says on the Sutter-Hammond text line, he says, 325-ounce beers and Jake's feeling all right.
It's usually about 4 for that one. I had 4 of those at the Garth Brooks concert, so 100 ounces of booze.
That's a lie.
I did. Oh, you want to?
I saw you in action, young man. The story.
I saw him in Ireland,
but I saw him at F1. And this man here, see, he told the PG super.
Yeah, why don't you
13.
tell your story about it.
This man got there and it was in amazement. He hit that first of all,
this is all true.
He made LaDainian Tomlinson uncomfortable to the point
more than just LT.
Every superstar he met, I took him to a party.
He did.
And it's a,
Larry Sanders party.
Larry Sanders party.
Yeah,
and
I just played golf with Larry.
Ed Too Tall Jones, Jake Plummer there, and he just
come on. I've never seen these guys before. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Strict. When I say he was staring,
Good thing we didn't see a dolphin.
That's true.
Yeah, it would have been over.
We saw Danny Marino at Radio Row, and he just stopped. He just stopped talking.
I just started walking around him.
Strict,
I left the table. And
we're doing a show. He put the headphones down, followed him around, and just like, look, I think Dan Marino. I'm live on air.
Now we did have a dolphin. We had Teron Armstead, who were just retired, and I was very excited to talk to Teron. He's a big fan of him. He's awesome left tackle for the Dolphins and retired. But yeah, at the F1 race.
At the F1, we get there. They got all the different cars from the old and new. We get there, and it's free food. Get Jake in there. I'll bring him in. Hook
free
him up,
food
right?
and drink.
Yeah.
See, my man commenced. I'm telling you, they had food trucks.
Ooh.
They had
all
soul food.
All free.
They had all free. Listen.
Free 99.
Listen, Strict. When I tell you this man wasn't not only double fisted, he had stuff on the shoulders. He went Strict.
Jake was the original. What's his name? From Nathan's.
Yeah,
he was
Joey Chestnut.
He was Joey Chestnut.
I said we have to stop. I said I'm done eating. Okay, I'm done eating. Okay,
and then what happened?
Then he went back again. He was like, "You got to try this."
I did.
He had a plate for himself.
He's like, "I am so full. I cannot have any more."
So then I said, "You know what? We got to get him out of the place. It's huge, Strict." I turn around. He act like he's going to the bathroom, about face, and goes to the other one. He's like, I go to the bathroom. He's like, you got to try this corn. He's like, matter of fact, I got you one.
True story.
This is all valid.
Then we're on the bus.
Everything.
And he kept trying to give me this cookie. I said, Jake,
the blue cookie.
Yeah, I told you 4 hours ago, I'm not eating the cookie. Okay, it didn't look healthy. First of all, I ate everything. And he kept doing it. I said, Jake, if you ask me one more time, I'm going to knock you out.
And guess what, though? I brought that cookie the next day to the Radio Row.
Yeah.
I snuck it out, and I brought it back. I said, here you go, Jay. The cookie's here for you.
It's ready for you.
He about threw it at me.
My man had a wooden leg. I mean, I've never seen somebody that skinny eat that much and drink that
Joey
much.
Chestnut Jr. Yeah, that's him. Last one. Shout out to Thomas and Lincoln. He says, F1 is a sport I would enjoy. I enjoy watching outside of hockey and football. Thanks, Thomas and Lincoln. We appreciate you. We're going to take our next break. We're going to talk a little bit about what Deion Sanders had to say about salary caps at the Big 12 Media Day when we come back on the next side of the commercials. 937 The Ticket on the block.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lights out? Let LES know where to go. Powerline matches your phone number to your service address so LES can respond to outages faster. Keep your information up to date at les.com/powerline.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, partly sunny, breezy, and hot with a high around 98. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, below around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Becker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Hey there, this is Paul Shield, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
Batter up.
Join us this summer at Haymarket Park for 50 action-packed Salt Dogs games running now through August. Visit saltdogs.com for updates on everything you need to know about weekly promotions, giveaways, and special events. That's where you'll find the latest updates to make sure you catch all the excitement and never miss a homestand you want to attend. Haymarket Park is your ticket to fun all summer long. Visit saltdogs.com to get your tickets and unleash the fun.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now. 464-5685 to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
Well, we're not playing the game, but we're going to talk about some things that's going on at Big 12 Media Day. Deion Sanders took to the podium there at out in Vegas, aren't they? They're in Vegas for the Big 12.
Dallas.
Isn't it? Dallas at the Frisco
Frisco,
at the start.
Texas.
It's at the start. That's right. He had some things he had to say where he spoke out in support for teams having salary caps. Now, we all know that there were some teams based off the July 1st House settlement that allow schools to share up to $21.5 million in revenue in year one with the athletes across sports, that are on campus. But there's still third-party collectives that represent schools that they actually have signed prior to the settlement deal, and they're still using collective money in order to get things done there. That kind of places itself outside of the revenue sharing model. So Deion, there's a little frustration there. He's asking for salary caps. The question then becomes, is it already a salary cap? Or is he asking for a specific portion of the money that is equal across the board with the revenue sharing, and then from there is capped? I really, really want to understand a little bit deeper, because it's still kind of broad. It's still kind of, we don't know how the collectives still are gonna operate with those teams. Can it be used outside the 105 to basically keep walk-ons, like to pay for their school? Like what are the parameters? And it sounds to me that he's asking for some form of parameters or some form of a baseline or boundaries to be put on how everybody operates, because it's equal across the board. What say you, Jake? Let's start with you. We'll go with Jay first.
Sorry, yeah. I think he's trying to get some clarity so he knows Colorado financially when you're talking about the support from the boosters. Even though he's brought millions and millions of dollars to Boulder, still aren't at the same level as even Texas Tech, right? You're looking at Texas Tech. That scares you a little bit. A team that's average at best.
Yeah.
You look at
number two, right? Transfer portal class.
But they got the money keep coming, and then you think of like a Oklahoma State with Tebow Pickens and all that money, and then all the other ones. For him, he feels. I think what he's saying is, as long as the playing field is somewhat even, I'm leaving you guys.
Yeah.
I think he's wanting some clarity so he can probably do his thing with his aura and his ability to market and all that stuff. So I think that's what he's wanting. And it's I understand where he's coming from. You're not going to get it, because the problem is if you get a salary cap, you have the collective bargain. And that's not going to happen. You're already there. I think what you could get is contract parameters based on your longevity in college at a certain university. If you do transfer fees like they did in the House settlement, but more importantly, it could help a team like Colorado if you cap what your collectives can or can't do. Because then that lessens the big, BYU with their war chest and all that. You'll be able to level the playing field.
Right, and I think that I get that point from Deion, but also in the revenue sharing era, the collectives are the big differences. That's something where if you have a collective that still is making buku bucks that can pay out, that's a huge win. It is still right now somewhat wild west. The revenue sharing is tightened up some things and made it somewhat more official than it has been. But if collectives still exist, which they do, there's still some murky areas. And so I don't know how you can enforce a salary cap. Like, I understand what he's saying, but that is right now a huge advantage of schools like you mentioned, Texas Tech and other ones out there that have a bunch of money. And I don't know how soon you can enforce that, if it's possible, but we also don't know. We never know actual figures on contracts. Like you would think that revenue sharing, we'd start figuring out, hey, this player is making this much money,
right?
But that's only in the revenue sharing part, not the collective part, which is additional. That they're not required to share their contract information.
Last thing, Jay, before we go to the break for the second hour, it sounds to me, even with what Jake is saying, it sounds to me that the frustration is mounted because there's money, especially from the collectives that are offered to players that ain't even in the portal yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's where some of this is coming from. and he's talking to players, and he's like, "Well, I've got $5 million on the table. How? You're not even in the portal yet."
Right.
And so there seems to still be that wide open.
There's some decent
tampering.
rules, some decent rules on when you can do things and what the collective can and can't do. And the big money schools are going to make up the difference. You can almost pay your lower end players a little bit more, and if you have a powerful collective, really do some damage. And so that's what he's wants to stay away from, because Colorado and Dion has done less with more, or done more with less. And so he wants to, he's fine with doing that. He just wants to make sure he's able to operate on the same playing field.
There we go. We're gonna take a break here. We're gonna come back on the second hour. If we have a guest, we'll bring them in. If not, we're gonna talk a little bit about the top 25 and who are the villains and their storylines. 402-464-5685. If you want to join the conversation, we'll be right back on the other side of the break. 937 The Ticket.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Grandma and Grandpa, Mom and Dad, then the kids, and now the grandkids. Judson Irrigation has provided lawn sprinkler system design, installation, repair, and service to 4 generations. They're just like members of the family. Loyalty, trust, service. It's what you deserve and expect from Judson Irrigation.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
When opportunity knocks, you don't want to miss the call. Hamilton Business Technologies makes communication easy and efficient using customized technology, all while putting people first. Whether you're working from the office, at home, or on the go, Hamilton Business Technologies equips your business with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. Hamilton Business Technologies. Real people, real technology solutions. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Yes, welcome back to On the Block. And this segment's going to be sponsored by Nebraska Sports Council. We'll just say that because we've got Dave Menarek. We've got him joining us from who is the president of Nebraska Sports Council. I've had the wonderful privileges of traveling as far as Nebraska can go in the early days of when they were really starting to branch out, and it's become just such a great mainstay of what Nebraska is, and to show and prove all things about the heart of Nebraska, the love of Nebraska, the fandom, and then those who are able to compete and be a part of. I think you have a wonderful model that has been built, and so tell us about what's new and what you guys are expecting to have as far as the turnout and the support and the wonderful things that you guys have been doing with the Cornhusker State games.
Well, thanks very much for that, and that was a fun summer.
Yeah,
you went with us on the torch run.
Yeah,
you put on some camps in communities, beginning with Scotts Bluff, and we played a round of golf under the monument, right?
Yeah.
But before that, and the audience may know this, they may not. You were the torch lighter.
I was. I ran in.
Back when we still had that a mystery right up to the moment. And that was one of the most exciting torch lightings that, like, Scott and Linus and I have been there like the whole time.
From the beginning.
I don't remember if it was maybe 06 or was it before that?
I think it might have been before that.
It might have.
Yeah, I think it might have been
90s.
Yeah, late 90s, early, yeah,
maybe.
something like that. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you were coming off of some real unprecedented success for a Nebraskan in the NBA, and you were the story of perseverance, and you were the story of really tough hard-nosed play in your sport, and you kind of beat some odds. So you were the ideal of Cornhusker State games.
Thank you, Dave.
That's a big compliment.
That is a big compliment.
Take that as a win.
I feel very strongly about that, and the whole Cornhusker State games, the model is anyone can do this, but we expect everyone to give it their best and to play with honor and integrity and have fun.
Well, it is beautiful to be able to see and to be thankful for even that part of it, to be able to shine a light and speak to the heart of what you guys have built. It's been tremendous over the years, how you've expanded it just outside of the Cornhusker State games. It just shows innovation. And tell us about that part of it, the expansion of you guys have added things like pickleball, and you've added a whole slew of things. So it's not just locked into the summer. It's pretty much across the year or throughout the year.
Yeah, the Cornhusker State games is 2 weekends in July, and it, for the better part of the first 20 years of the organization, was the only event that we did and had. And it takes year-round planning and work to pull off an event of that magnitude. It's 70-plus sports. It's all ages, all abilities. It's statewide. Now we have 7 different communities that host Cornhusker State Games events. So that couple weeks in July is very intense. But what we learned is that everything cycles. Things change. Things kind of come up and down. And we're watching audiences in other parts in the country where things would hit sooner. And we just decided to start, let's try some outside of the state games events and programs. And now we have 11 major events, and they take place all over the state. And our Lincoln and Omaha corporate games now, if you combine those two, are probably larger in participation than the Cornhusker State games.
We're joined by Dave Manerica, the president of the Nebraska Sports Council, here for the Cornhusker State Games opening ceremonies tonight at PBA. Now, this year is very cool for another big reason, not even including actual new sports. ESPN has Sports Center across the country in all 50 states, and they're going to highlight the state games during these 2 weekends. I mean, first of all, how much of an honor is it for them to choose these events, and what does that mean to the state games for seeing that across the country? Some sort of just promotion of it.
It's amazing, and they're looking for something that's exciting and has a pretty good sized audience that they can kind of get in and showcase that says a lot about the state. And what a tribute to our organization, all the sponsors, all the volunteers over the years who have done what they do and built this brand up to where when they were looking at the date July 12th and July 13th, they found Cornhusker State Games and it resonated with them immediately. Sent us an email, picked up the phone. Pretty soon it was like, well, this is exactly what we're looking for
That's
for
awesome.
this 50 states in 50 days, because it's a lot of off the beaten path stuff, and it's things that the anchors can be highlighted getting involved in the sport. So that's what we're going to see this weekend. Is David Lloyd is the anchor who's showing up, and he's going to jump into some activities, literally.
Which sports is he going to go into? Have you talked about?
The two that we know for sure are track and field on Saturday, and then the adult volleyball on Sunday. And I've heard whispers of arm wrestling also on Saturday later.
That's what I have 2 questions. This is a 2-parter. But one, speaking about that, where you have the emergence of sports like here in the state, like volleyball. Obviously, we don't do football, but probably a version of it in flag. And what sports have you just really seen? Like cornhole, obviously, has taken a liking, as I said. Which of those sports have you really just seen an energetic, just movement towards as far as the sporting landscape?
Well, you mentioned it before, and pickleball typically sells out in the Cornhusker State Games. I think we can host about not quite 400 players in the time and the courts that we have, and it's full every year. So that's one that comes to mind immediately. But it seems like there's been sort of a migration from team sports, especially in the youth categories, into individual sports. What's thriving right now is track and field in the state games. We've had 5-year continuous run of increased participation. Wrestling, same story. Swimming the last 3 years, and they're pushing up on toward a medal, a record this year. So it's almost like the traditional Olympic sports with individual entry and individual competition we've seen a migration toward those.
That's awesome. Let me ask you one last question on the two-parter. This is a unique thing. And have you had other states that have looked at your blueprint, have reached out to you guys, have asked the questions of how can we get this going here? This is pretty cool. And do you think maybe the ESPN opening will kind of open that up? And how do you feel about that part of it, of possibly being a solid blueprint to what you could expand across the country?
For sure. Well, we have a national organization called the National Congress of State Games. There's 30 members right now that do conduct state
Some
games.
forms of it. Okay.
Yeah. And the strongest programs, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, pretty much these Midwestern states that built the model of y'all can play instead of like on the coast where the state games movement started, they had very much an elitist approach, and it was tryouts, and it was just like all the other clubs and tournaments. Well, here in the Midwest, we have the largest participation bases, and our team is the best in the country, hands down.
I mean, you guys have stayed together for 20 plus years.
Yes.
That's cool.
And
30 years.
When our team, especially our ops people, are at the national meetings, they are literally the rock stars. They are the ones that everybody wants to go out with afterwards and pick their brain. And and we send our stuff back and forth all the time. And by the same token, we've borrowed some great ideas from other states, and that's a really nice community to have. But I do think, like, South Dakota doesn't have a state games. I think this ESPN thing will wake a lot of people up in states that don't have them and say, well, geez, we need that in whatever state it is.
Joined by Dave Benerick of the Nebraska Sports Council for the state games. I'm curious, Dave, so you mentioned up to 400 participants in pickleball this year possibly. What do you have the final head count on how many people are participating in general in the state games in 2025?
Right now, we're just over 7,000, and
that's huge.
With late registration in a lot of sports, especially the second weekend, I think we'll push right up around 8,000 this year.
When does late registration end?
It depends on the sport.
Depends on the sport. So taking that into account. Go find out, like, as soon as you can, and tell them how they could, really check to see if they can get involved if they want to get in. Because I'm gonna let you do that. But one of the things that we have a lot of what they call Monday morning quarterbacks, sideline coaches, a lot of people that do a lot of that type of stuff. This is your opportunity now to you say you can do it. You say you can handle it better. You say you can,
Let's go armchair QB. Come on.
Get on out there and make it happen.
Get in the games. All the sports, and you can register at cornhuskerstategames.com. But I would advise going to the Cornhusker State Games Facebook page and clicking on every day. Just scroll through until you see the daily. These are the sports that are still open, and it has right on there the dates that it closes for the list of sports that are still open. So the daily posts have gone like this. The list keeps getting smaller, but there's still plenty of events that you can get in, sign up, and be part of this year's Cornhusker State Games.
Have you yourself ever played in state games, Dave? Are you allowed to in your role?
I have, and I'm actually signed up for the 5K.
You are?
I sign up every year for the 5K, and I rarely go run in it just because it's not – I don't want to peel away and just, like, be persona non grata just in case. And it's usually at a time when we're kicking off the weekend, and you want to be there to help make important decisions on weather and things like that. So I usually don't partake in it, but once in a while, the things will just seem right, and I'll put my sneakers on and go do it. But back in the day, we did a Dare Dave promotion.
Okay.
And the athletes voted what sport I would have to do. And the first year it was triathlon, and I didn't ever know
Dave
how
O'Brien.
to swim. And then the second year it was beach wrestling, and that was the end. That was the end of the promotion.
Is that like sumo?
That was the end of the promotion. Yeah.
You should have sumo.
Beach wrestling. I got my butt kicked so bad.
I think I would also get my butt kicked in that.
I would
That's
handle
like a very specialized sport. I'm curious. So, this is obviously a wonderful production. It'll be a wonderful night tonight for opening ceremonies. But you mentioned that it takes a lot of work to put this on. This wraps up end of July for the state games. Like, is it a full year of work? When do you guys start building on 2026 state games when this wraps up?
Yeah, our director of events immediately after the games, I would say by the 1st of August, we'll begin scheduling the meeting, the post and pre meeting with every sport director of the 70. And that takes basically 2.5 months leading up to the end of the year, when we can have all plans in place to open registrations January 1st. So there's a lot of discussions and tweaks and all that stuff that has to happen. Plus, that's the period of our new sport application. So we have sports that are applying to be part of the games most years, and they fill out an application, and then our team meets with them and makes sure that, you know, everything would line up and that they have the wherewithal, the volunteer support, the expertise within the sport, the credibility to be part of our event. And most of the time we will vote to bring those sports on.
That's what I was going to ask, is if like, how do you dictate, or how do you put out in order to get the support or the volunteer support? You know, how do you go about doing that? Because if you want to volunteer, you know, like, how can they find you or connect with you, or when does that process start?
Yeah. Cornhuskerstategames.com has a volunteer sign up, and you can pop on there, and it has, I don't know, 50 or so different places and times that you can volunteer for a sport that you don't need to have any expertise in. We need a lot of course monitors. We need a lot of check-in folks. We need a lot of, you know, just general runners that can quickly and easily learn what their responsibilities are and handle it within a 10-minute briefing. So we need a lot of those types of volunteers. And most of the sport volunteers, they come with the sport. A lot of times we have to fill in the blanks, but we're blessed here in Nebraska. You know, the other states, when we have our national meetings, it's a constant battle. It's just one of their, you know, hottest topics. And our team does some demos on how to recruit, find the right volunteers, keep your volunteers. But the bottom line is, people here like to help. People here want to help. So we've been blessed not to have the same problem.
Regarding tonight, I'm joined by Dave Manerick of the Nebraska Sports Council for the state games. What is tonight's schedule of events for opening ceremonies here at Pinnacle Bank Arena?
Yeah, so at 7:00, and it's a very brief program compared to the old, Olympic style. And we're going to hear from some past experts. We're going to hear from the lieutenant governor. We're going to have a national anthem, and then we're going to do the torch lighting sequence. And we have some.
There's food and drinks.
Yes, there's food and drinks. This is leading up to the 7:00 is our VIP reception, where all of our sponsors and key volunteers get together and get to celebrate together and mingle. And then we'll move to the program outside, which is televised statewide on News Channel Nebraska. Sorry to mention another media on your station, but some people might want to watch that, and they can find it there. But it's just a way of getting the word out that the games are here. And that's what it's in the Olympic tradition. You have an opening night, opening ceremony, and it gets everyone in the spirit.
Well, we definitely wish you guys continued success, the best of luck. If you're a sponsor or you have interest in getting involved with what the Cornhusker State Games are doing, reach out to them and tell them where they can find you if they want to, get their business involved, or if you have a big business, because you guys are a foundational type of setup. It's each year you have to go out there and drum up to put all this together.
Very, very good point. And thank you for mentioning that. You can find our sponsor lineup, our levels that you can support the Nebraska Sports Council at nebraskasportscouncil.com or cornhuskerstategames.com. You can email us info@nebraskasportscouncil.com, and we'll find a place for your support that provides good marketing benefits. That is our model. It's business partners. We don't receive tax funding to any major extent. So we go out and get our sponsorships that fund our operations so we can do this year round, keep on keeping people active and healthy and motivated and showing them a good time in sports.
We do have a comment before we let you go, Dave, from Marshall on the text line. It says, let Dave know we couldn't be more proud of him and the team for all they have done and accomplished. Congrats on the ESPN exposure and best of luck for another great event. Longtime supporter, Marshall So
thanks, Marshall. I love you. I miss you. It's time for you to come back and get involved in darts and foosball and all that fun stuff that we did back in the day. But anyway, you're a peach, man. Love you.
Well, there it is. Thanks, Dave, for joining us. Again, Dave Menark from Nebraska Sports Council. He is the president. He is the head man in charge. And come down. Hopefully the rain will hold up.
Yep.
But this still going down because the show doesn't stop. So, Dave, thanks again for your continued success as your leadership here for the Cornhusker State Games. We appreciate you. We support you. And we're going to take it off to the next segment, second segment, for the last hour right here, 93.7 The Ticket. Come out and support Nebraska sports.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, probably sunny, breezy, and hot with a high around 98. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, below around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day, and afternoon high around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Buck for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
People always ask me, hey, Libby, what fuels you? Passion? Competition? The pursuit of greatness? None of those things. Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their cooked-to-order chicken fingers always fills my tank, and the crinkle-cut fries and Texas toast are the perfect top-off for the perfect road trip. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay. Playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Back. Thanks again to Dave Menard for stopping by and having a nice little sit down and breaking bread with us. Food is going to be amazing. The VIP is going to be set up soon. Shaky Jakey, and I know
I partake usually in that. Does that surprise you guys?
I know Jay might
Jay
partake in the
Yeah,
athletes.
He's legendary, man. That dude, I ain't never seen nothing like it, man.
Listen, man, if it's offered, it's disrespectful to turn it down, Jay.
Jake, everybody hit every single spot once.
I'll hit all these spots here too.
There it is.
Multiple times.
There it is. That's going to tell you a lot. But let's check this out. Like, I can say this personally because I don't think I've shared this. I know Jay knows this story, but I haven't shared this story about with Shaky Jakey.
Yeah.
Shaky Jakey, I can tell you, I got shunned a little bit.
What?
It didn't hurt my feelings, but it just kind of made me a little bit mad.
Hang on a second.
There was a guy that's a USC coach now that had some things to say about Stricky, and what Stricky did is I went on the calendar and I circled that date. And I said, when I see them, it's on. This is what we're going to talk about right now.
I'm confused.
So what I'm saying is, as a player, there are times when you have arch nemesis or arch villains or a team that you're just like, yeah, you. And I know you've seen that, those times popped up when it was Oklahoma.
Colorado,
or it was Colorado
like
or something like that. You didn't heard about, who the running back was or who, you like, we coming.
Yeah.
And Shaky Jakey, I know there's, some competitions when you go on the golf course and sometimes you're like, oh, yeah, I heard you talking.
It's usually right there.
There it is.
Right next to you.
That's what we're going to talk about right now. The top 25 collegiate football teams. We're going to deal with who their arch nemesis are. This is where we want you to get involved. 402-464-5685, which are going to be your top 5, top 25, but your top 5 thoughts on who you're looking at in the upcoming season and who's going to be your arch nemesis. So, Jay, let's first talk about the number 1 team
in the nation. The defending champ.
Apparently not in this one.
Oh, it was Penn State.
Penn State per ESPN.
And their big arch rival is Ryan Day. It's just Ohio State, period.
it ain't Ryan Day. It's the Buckeyes.
Penn State's arch rival or villain. Is anybody ranked in like the top 5? And more importantly, is James Franklin. Matter of fact, I'm going to go off right now. I got a bone to pick with James Franklin.
He's mad.
There it is. You've been talking about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've been trying to give him light skin. We're going to win. We coming back. The team look different. I'm like, these dudes look different. They the game was too early the year before against Ohio State, but they pushed through Big Ten championship. They showed the fight and explosiveness against Oregon. Then let me down again.
Yeah, they did.
And cost me a steak dinner. I'm going to tell them about
which
himself.
We're still waiting for, by the way. The steak dinner is still somehow not arrived yet.
Jake, but the amount of food that you eat, you might be nullified. You might be on a budget.
No, I'm not nullified. I'm ready for it. I'm due for that. I will partake. I will enjoy, and I'll probably have a second steak while I'm at it.
I want to ask you guys this, in your guys' opinion, Strick, in both sports, football and basketball, right? Okay. You can do one. You start with one or the other. Who's Nebraska's arch villain
in basketball?
Mm-hmm. In the Big Ten,
themselves.
Right?
That part.
Hey,
yes.
Right. How about
you
themselves?
trying to get?
They've never won a tournament game. They are their own worst enemy. They're their nemesis.
I might have to agree with that because I don't I think that even makes it even much more of a problem because you don't have nobody that you can look at
That's the
with that
hardest
type
opponent.
of, like for us, right? I can say
So
for us, Big A, when I played.
Yeah. Who was your arch villain?
It was Missouri because we could not stand the Antlers.
Yeah.
We wanted to shut them up. Anytime we went in there, it was so intense, Jay, that they were the number 1 team in the country, and we went into Missouri.
Is that with Anthony Peeler?
No, it was with Booker, with Melvin Booker,
Melvin Booker,
Crudup,
yeah,
and that crew,
Yeah.
right? And we had them. They called a block charge on me in order to save them, basically,
right?
Because that gave them the ball. They had the lead,
Yeah.
So now we had to come down. They had free throw. We had to come down and basically hit a three, and Pike almost pulled the Steph Curry.
Yeah, from deep half court. Yeah,
I mean, that was the first time that I seen Coach go at the referees. He was at their door beating, like they took that one from us. But we got them back in the Big Ten tournament. We beat the brakes off of them in the Big Ten tournament.
Right.
So I would say Missouri. It was Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Was definitely the
Who was at Oklahoma then?
Ryan Miner.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, I miss Mookie, so we missed him. But it was like Ryan Miner was that group down there at that time. Those are the two for me. What about you, Shaky J?
Well, you want to go basketball first?
I went back. You can go football.
Whatever you want.
Well, I mean, like Jason, Colorado's obviously one in Oklahoma. The ones you had your rivalries on.
Jakey, we were salty out in Colorado.
Right now, it's still Iowa. I mean, Iowa's the team. I like being Iowa, and it doesn't happen enough. Nebraska just simply sucks against Iowa when they need to win the game. They've had games that they've won, and it's just given away. Last year, up 10-0 on the road in Iowa City. I was there in the freezing cold in the stands. Let down once again by Nebraska. The year before that, trying to get to a bowl game. Deacon Hill is 40% passing. Somehow they overcome his inability to be a quarterback, and they win the game because Nebraska gives away the ball midfield. They get a long run, and their backup kicker makes a field goal. I'm sick of Iowa.
Were you at that game too?
I was in the stands with Iowa fans around me, and they were in my ears chirping. And I was ready to return the favor last year.
That's why you
Iowa
went.
City, and they're up 10-0, and I'm chirping, and I got really quiet when that last field goal went through.
I was glad when we was
Same
out
score,
in
back-to-back
Colorado.
years, 13-10.
How nasty they were in Colorado when we were out there.
Yes,
they were nasty.
They were nasty.
But boy, when they came here, I was so glad.
Oh yeah, beat the
to
brakes.
see, because I was salty. I think I was salty, Jake, because I was actually in the stands. This is when I think Keegan was still playing at Iowa, and I was there, and I was excited, like, yeah, we about to get these cats. But I was being calm because I was with Cluster in the Iowa section. But I was like, boy, we about to trick this game off again, and we did. I was salty.
You know who the biggest arch villain for Nebraska football is?
Also themselves.
No, I'm looking at them right now.
Me? I am.
The last two games you talked about.
Yeah.
You attended.
I was there.
Stay home.
Okay, what happened? Okay, hang on a
Stay over
second.
at the studio. Just stay home. Colorado, a couple years ago.
I was
Stay
at
home.
the game last year against
You
Colorado.
ain't-
I
can-
was there.
I can promise you, you are not going to Kansas City.
I am going
No,
to
you're
Kansas.
not.
But
Matt Rule has just sent a text. He said right now, he said, leave Jake at home.
Here's the deal. Last year I was at UTEP, win. I was at the second game, win. Northern Iowa. And then
You're really talking about these games?
I was at Colorado.
You was
I
at
was
a
at Colorado, and then I did not go. I had tickets to Illinois to say, it's a Friday night. I'm going to go home and watch the game. And they lost. So because I was not there, they lost. So you can blame me not paying attention.
You weren't invested. So then at the end of the season, the sports guys got you.
Is that
If you're
right?
going to be
I'm
and
the
you got
problem
tickets,
here. I've heard this before.
It's not
This is not new
consistent.
to me.
It's like ping pong ball.
I am
going
used
on
to
back
being.
and forth
I am
right here.
used to being
I think,
the problem.
To be honest with you, in this time, the arch villain, I know you're talking about. I think really, to be honest with you, for Nebraska, it's football and basketball. It's Iowa and football.
Yeah.
And in basketball as well.
It is.
Because here's why. Nebraska's always, I wouldn't say they're always better because Iowa, I think, doesn't get the credit for the type of players that they produce. But it's always Nebraska goes up to Iowa after playing well and gets blown out, like on a Saturday or a Sunday, 11 o'clock. Next thing you know, this is it. Nebraska needs it to get in the tournament or get that.
Yeah.
That game was in Lincoln last year. to close the year. Nebraska needs to make it to. They missed the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
They couldn't win a game
Couldn't
on
win
home
a game
court
on
against
home
Iowa,
court.
who was also not very good last year.
Well,
embarrassing.
Shout out to Lemon. Lemon on the Starter Heyman text line says, I have to disagree. And I think I might have to be in on that too. He says basketball is Creighton.
Yeah.
Their fans talk like no other. And I said, bruh, I had never lost to Creighton. And I was like, listen, it was like imperative that you do not lose to Creighton because we had to see them in the off season. And, you know, us being from Omaha, I'm like, negative Ghost Rider. That pattern's full.
Me. And you know what? It was the problem with Creighton. It's the aura of how they carry themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They think they're the upper echelon and all that other stuff. And then when you dig off at them, they get awful quiet.
Yeah.
Because they think that they're the Midwest version of Duke.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
they do.
exactly.
That's exactly what they think. 100%.
Yeah.
And guess what? They lost last year to Nebraska.
Yeah, they sure did.
They lost two.
Last time 2 or 3.
They lost 2 straight home games to GBR.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And they wear sweater vests. Did you ever see it?
Yeah, they do.
Let me throw this one at you, Jay. Let's talk Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ohio State's nemesis Michigan or is it Sherron Moore? Because Sherron Moore has been connected to their downfalls over these last.
I think this year will tell. I think Michigan. That's just back and forth. That's hatred right there. That's a Hatfield and McCoy.
Woo, that's the thing that they look forward to.
I think more with Ohio State, but I think they got over the hump. Obviously winning the national championship was themselves. It's the standard and the expectation year in and year out. You can get in your own head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're real because they, immensely talented. They were able to right the wrong, and we'll see if that national championship will lead to a run, kind of like once Jim Harbaugh got over his Urban Meyer hump, and they went on a run. And then they went into the college football playoffs and was way more competitive. So it's going to be really interesting.
So check this out, Jake. When you're looking at Oregon now, Oregon is no longer in the Pac-12. They are now in the Big Ten. Who is the nemesis for Oregon at this specific juncture in their transition to the Big
I'm
Ten?
curious that says Ohio State because last year Ohio State lost to Oregon on the road. I mean, they had the game where Will Howard just forgot the time situation and Oregon wins by 1. Now redemption was on their side when it mattered the most in the playoff when number 1 Oregon was down 38-0 in the Rose Bowl Ohio State. So I guess they have to be the nemesis because again, not a Pac-12 team anymore. Oregon, it's right now it's Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, and Michigan to a certain extent are the 4 best teams in the conference. So it's not Ryan Day. It's not a player. I guess it would be Ohio State, but they're still so new to the conference. It's hard to even say that. Like that's their arch rival, their arch nemesis.
It goes deeper than that, though. When Ohio State won the championship with Urban Meyer, Ohio State beat the dog tar out of them down there in that first kind of college football playoff championship.
It did.
Remember Ezekiel Elliott?
Oh, yeah. He's still running today.
Oh, that's right.
Still running.
He was out at halftime.
Still running.
He was working about his draft status.
Right.
And everybody was good. Remember they had Cardell Jones? He was
going to work.
He was a 14 quarterback.
Right. Worked them out.
Yeah.
We don't come here to play school, says Cardale Jones.
Right. Jay, let me ask you this. Who wins the Holy War, though?
That
between BYU and Utah.
That right there would be the only reason I'd go to Utah.
To watch that game?
Is to watch that game. I would hope that game is at 11 or 12, and I can get the heck out of there at night.
Come on. And fly back to Nebraska?
I'll come in that night before, but I can't no more than 24 to 36 hours in Utah.
Yeah.
But that game right there is serious too, man.
It's serious.
And plus, when you have controversial calls like this year, it makes it even worse. Like when you guys played Missouri. Like when we played Missouri, we ended up winning, but when we watched we watched the news the night before. They're watering the grass to try to eliminate our speed. Or on the flip side,
it was bad turf. They had
long
turf.
grass.
They had long grass.
But then when we played them, and then they were watering it down, and they sanded it down to try to slow us down a little bit. It was working for a little bit. Corby Jones was working out a little bit. We had to tighten up. But it's like that. And you know what? It's always Missouri.
Yeah. So, what's when you look at it, Jake? Who's your top 2 watches of nemesis football.
Well, I enjoy when Iowa loses. To me, an Iowa win is a Nebraska Iowa loss is a Nebraska win, and it's the same. If Nebraska wins the same weekend Iowa loses, I smoke a victory cigar. 2 of them.
Yeah, you serious?
That's
about
double win.
Yeah,
Strick. Basketball, man, it's just not. They play way more games, so
it's not Iowa.
When Iowa
State
loses, I'm happy, but like it doesn't like make my whole weekend, my whole week.
What about rivalries? Like before we go to our final break, like during the season, like what rivalry like gets you? Let's not talk Nebraska. I'm telling you, like when you're watching football on the weekend, like what rivalry are you like? You were tuned into and you excited about?
I'll probably say there's 2 of them for me. Florida State, Miami. Because them games was remember always going down the field, and there was some legendary players playing. And I would probably say, what is it? Georgia, Tennessee.
You like Georgia, Tennessee?
Bama, Tennessee. It's always Tennessee.
You like Tennessee?
Well, I like the other teams.
rival.
I like the other teams because it's, I didn't realize how serious Tennessee fans were when we was down there at the Orange Bowl, and they was like, we ain't wishing you good luck. We hope you. I was like, dang. Yeah,
it's like that, huh?
But
it's like that.
But it's serious down there, and you like it because it's real. It's like that BYU, Utah, that Florida State, Miami, Miami, Florida. That's bragging rights, man. You know it, just like Nebraska, Creighton in basketball.
402-464-5685. What is your most exciting rivalry that you just really when it comes down to a weekend, whatever sport it is, tell me what that rivalry is for you. 402-464-5685. We'll shout it out on the next segment. Jake, what about you? It's anything against Iowa, or you have
that's the one. That's the
one. It's not like Notre Dame, USC. It's not, nothing like that.
Do I get excited for any national games? No, not really.
No.
I
It's
think
not like LSU and Florida or something like that.
No, like I don't care about in terms of like the Big Ten has the long rivalries of like Wisconsin against Iowa and Minnesota versus Iowa. I don't care. I don't care about the Florida Rosedale. I don't care about the Axe. I don't care about the old Oaken bucket. That doesn't do it for me. But I think that the ones around the holidays are good. The Egg Bowl's fun to watch. And Ole Miss, Mississippi State. When Mississippi State stinks, they're not very good recently. But those are good around Black Friday that weekend.
Quick last question, real quick for both of you. Has rivalries died or shifted now that we are in the landscape of Big Ten, SEC, the ones that used to be, the Texas, Oklahomas, that's a big one. But have they now died, shifted, or they're not the same anymore based on those shit? Like Oregon, Washington used to be probably at one time.
All the conference realignments killed things.
Yeah, it's definitely not as intense. Now, you still get the Ohio State, Michigan because they didn't move.
Yeah.
You still get the Auburn, Alabama because they didn't move.
Yeah.
You still get the Florida, Tennessee because they didn't move. Or Florida State, Miami, they still there. I think with the teams that like Colorado, Nebraska, Oklahoma, with the conference realignment, you lose that. You got to give credit to Iowa and Iowa State. They kept it right.
Mm-hmm.
But they had that. They weren't in the same conference, so it kind of it's just rinse and repeat. I think all the conference realignment, and really, I bet you Stanford Cal. Remember that?
Yeah,
I mean, those games, those aren't the ones that are like up here, but they're intense games. Washington State, that's gone.
Yeah.
Oregon State.
How about Bedlam, Oklahoma State? Gone.
Yeah.
I've been to that game. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's intense.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Went 10 years ago. I remember it vividly still. I was sober for that game. Believe it or not. Vivid.
Down there in Stillwater?
Stillwater, yeah.
Yeah.
Did the team that you want win?
No.
Exactly.
Oklahoma won. I wanted Okie State too. I was in Stillwater. I want to see
like a Mike Gundy. Well, you look like a Mike Gundy fan.
I'll shout that unnamed texter 9121. I'll shout you out on the other side of the break. We're going to take a quick break for our last segment here on 93.7 The Ticket on the Block. We'll be right back.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms. Otherwise, probably sunny, breezy, and hot with a high around 98. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, below around 71. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day, and afternoon high around 90. Meteorologist Kyle Bucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
and electrical.
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
People always ask me, hey, Livy, what fuels you? Passion, competition, the pursuit of greatness? None of those things. Raising Cane's is the only fuel I need. Their cooked-to-order chicken fingers always fills my tank, and the crinkle-cut fries and Texas toast are the perfect top-off for the perfect road trip. So when I'm running on fumes, I always refuel at Raising Cane's. But turns out, not everything's fueled by Cane's. Guess the old girl prefers her sauce unleaded. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Summertime is here, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? Your dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
We are back. One final segment on the block, live from Pinnacle Bank Arena for the opening ceremonies of the Cornhusker State Games. Jake Sorensen, Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman with you. This segment sponsored by Love Volleyball. Match point. Match point right now. Excited to get their season going later on in the year. And by the way, we forgot to shout out to our friend Kevin from Myers Cork and Bottle. Also, he was not here today because we're on remote, but we'll see him next Thursday.
Thursday.
It is still, go still stop by and get some wonderful items from Kevin and the team at Myers Cork and Bottle.
13th and South, man. They take care of you, man. They real good care of you.
And do not forget also our friends at Heartland of Nebraska Windows, wonderful sponsors of On the Block. We appreciate them as we sit here live in the air conditioning here in the summer day inside PBA. It's sad when I come in this building and I can't go watch a basketball game or a concert, but this is a pretty good alternative to not having a concert or a hoops game right now.
I would have to agree, and we'll close things out with the Sutter Heyman text line. You guys lit it up for us. We're talking about rivalries and what are some of the best rivalries that you get excited about or would like to see. Unnamed texter 5807 says, love me some Army, Navy, or the Bronze Boot, which is Wyoming and Colorado State.
Really?
That's interesting.
I have not heard that called that before. I didn't know that was the name of that game.
Yeah.
Do you know that, Jay? The Bronze Boot?
Yeah, I haven't heard of that one. Old Dad 34 says, when Notre Dame loses to anyone, because my wife is a fan of them.
Oh.
Tension. In-house tension.
Yeah.
In-house tension. We definitely have one that talked about unnamed texter 4972 talks about Texas and Oklahoma. Bedlam. Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Oh, that's Oklahoma State.
That's the
Which one? Red River Rivalry.
Yeah, there you go.
That happens at the Cotton
Which
Bowl.
now is in the SEC, but doesn't feel the same. Even though they're still in the same conference, it does not feel right. It's a Big 12 matchup.
Yeah.
It still exists. It's not right.
It doesn't feel right.
I stand by that, Jay.
You stand on business?
I stand on business.
But you know what else stands on business before we leave? The best rivalry is? It's not even a rivalry anymore. Buffalo Bills, what we do to them.
Oh, yeah. We don't talk about that game.
That's exactly what we do. We go down there and ransack them dudes.
You know, the Bills have won, I think, 13 of the last 14 against the Dolphins. That should not happen. It's like Broncos Chief stuff right now happening.
Beat down.
Straight beat down.
Yeah, right.
Last thing, unnamed texter 9121 says, we had a guys trip booked for Tennessee. A tear was shed when they dropped it.
Yeah, I'm still pissed about that.
Understandable. Too. Yeah, I think I would have said the same on that. Thomas and Lincoln, I see you, but we've got to get out of here because old school is waiting in the wings. You can always come down here. It looks like the sun's trying to peek out. It's going to be some great libations, some great food, and a great time in opening ceremonies here at Pinnacle Bank Arena. But we've got to get out of here because old school is next. We'll see y'all mañana back in studio on the block tomorrow, 3 to 5, followed by Old School. Jay, see you then.
I'll holler at you.
Jake, thanks for hanging with us, man.
Adios.
We'll see y'all then. Peace. We out.